Let me know when you're starting there.
I'm good. Go ahead. I'm rolling.
Okay, let's start that. Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Burning Passion, a cult Divinity Lost game run by me, your GM Matihi. Tonight is the final episode of this 4-part series. And of course we are joined with Charlie, or Slip playing Charlie, Gru playing Christian, and Danish playing Saxon. And of course, if you haven't seen the past episodes, we would highly suggest it, as there might be some confusion. And of course, as always, viewer discretion is advised. You stand in the basement with Peter Hughes, previous owner of this large New Orleans home that you now find yourselves in. Again. He is surrounded by magics to keep himself protected from the creature that now controls his daughter, Brooke. You know that Moon lurks somewhere within the home. Christian can feel her presence, makes the hairs on the back of his neck stand as he thinks of her. His scars start to ache in response. You've convinced Peter to leave his zone of safety, as he has not in over 10 years. He hasn't been able to help anyone within the manor in all this time. You've convinced him that now is the time for change. Maybe if he finally comes out, maybe if you're able to acquire the music box, that seems to be the key to everything. You can stop whatever is happening. And Saxon, as you stand there with the others, you're finding it harder and harder to breathe. You take a short breath before you find yourself doubled over in a coughing fit. Blood spews out of your mouth and onto the ground. Each of your breaths is shaky. It sounds watery as you inhale. You try to gasp for air, but only feels like you get some oxygen to your lungs. And each of you can see the suffering that Saxon goes through as he gasps and sputters and coughs. What do all of you do as this is happening?
I'll hit him on the back.
No, don't. Oh, yeah, that doesn't make it better.
Charlie rushes to get some water, brings it back, kind of a hopeless look on her face that she tries to hide behind a comforting smile. Here, see if you can get any of this down.
Yeah, thanks.
And she looks appealingly at Peter Hughes, her expression asking, is there anything you can do?
Peter looks to you. He's very sympathetic to you there, Sack. He sighs and rubs the back of his head. I can try to do something. In the meantime, I'm not very practiced on any sorts of healing abilities or anything of the sort. But I can try. Come here. Sit on the couch. And he brings you over to the couch near the fireplace.
Yeah, I'll go over and sit down.
So you do that, Slip, why don't you roll me disadvantage for your liar? Okay. Alright. He lays you down on the couch and he looks down at you. Unfortunately, I can't do this healing magics without a sacrifice of some sort. Nothing life-threatening, but almost of equal value I need.
What do you mean?
I can't repair him from nothing. It's Charlie, unfortunately. I need some sort of a blood sacrifice to help.
Would would one of the blood from up above work?
And he nods. If you can get me a few digits on a hand or a kidney or anything like that, I can help you.
Here, I've got a spare left hand. Why don't you use that?
Christian, that's crazy.
No, there's plenty of stuff upstairs that's used for extra body parts. I'm sure that can use something like that.
Yeah, we'll go
I'll-
find something.
We might lose more than my left hand to that.
Well, Brooke said that they were gone. She ripped all the dolls
Sun's
apart.
not gone. Sun's up there. You keep forgetting, Sun is worse than Brooke.
Well, maybe she'd make a good sacrifice then.
Lead the way, Charlie. We'll be back soon, Saxon.
Yeah, take your time and see the sights. It's all good.
Keep an eye on him, she says to Peter.
Of course. I'll make sure he's comfortable. Just sit up for me, will you? And he takes a pillow and props it underneath you, Saxon, to help you be comfortable. So your airways slightly open up a little bit, allowing you to breathe a bit more easily.
That's better.
Good, just stay here. And Charlie and Christian, you head off upstairs.
I think before they go, Charlie would look around and say, do you happen to have any weapons down here?
He looks around and he points towards the fire. There's not much in terms of any sort of guns or ammunition, but of course there's the pokers and such. They're iron.
Yeah.
There.
It's better than nothing. Some of the books think good cold iron is good against the supernatural. Who knows? She'll go over and get one, pick up something else. Christian, you?
This knife got Sun the first time.
Okay. She kind of hefts the poker a few times. I guess that's the best we're gonna do. We'll see you soon, Saxon.
Yeah, you two be careful up there.
He nods. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, were you going to say something?
No, Charlie will head toward the exit, toward the stairs.
I'll follow her.
And as you begin to leave, take a foot on the staircase, again you feel Christian hairs on the back of your neck raised. And from upstairs, you hear, it sounds like it's coming down the hallways, a little ways away, maybe towards where the dining room was where you were before. You can hear a humming of a song that you've heard before, one that you've heard Sun hum many times as she had very painstakingly worked you over using a potato peeler on your skin to strip it off.
Oh, not again.
Why don't you make me a keep it together roll? You're able to keep yourself composed, though you've heard this, and you cover your ears to try and block out the... You know deep down that back then you were just a child. Now you're a man. You're able to stand at the same height as her. You're able to see her for what she is. Able to face her down. But this is just music that she had made. It's not her herself.
Charlie, she'll go for me first. Don't think she's a sweet little old lady.
And Charlie had been looking around trying to find the source of the sound, and she turns to Christian. Oh, don't worry, I'm not going to be fooled. You've told me enough. And you're not alone this time.
I wasn't alone the other times. She liked to do it with pairs.
There were other kids there?
No, that they were people who the others brought in. I think most of them were adults.
Oh. Well, none of them were me. And who knows what I'm capable of. And she tries to look a little more confident than she feels.
You're a badass, Charlie. You're a badass.
She kind of smiles at that. And you know it, Chris. Let's turn this bitch inside out.
You make your way up to the office, and as you exit from the door behind the desk, you notice straight in front of you there seems to be a door to the outside, to not the outside of the mansion or the manor itself, but into the house. Wasn't there before, but it stands there now. You can hear coming up from the bottom of the office door, you can hear the humming.
So it's leading to the rest of the house?
Yes, it's out there past the door.
Huh. Well, that's new. She approaches, reaches for the door, pulls it open a little to see what it's going to open to.
And the door, it opens to the foyer again. Find yourself very front of the house where you had entered. And you hear the humming coming from down the hallway where the woman led you towards the dining room where you first saw Sun in here.
Charlie wordlessly points in the direction that she thinks it's coming from and kind of raises a questioning eyebrow.
Christian pulls out the knife and just holds it up.
And Charlie nods and kind of slowly trying to be fairly quiet, heads toward the humming.
You make your way to the sound of the and as you make your way there, let me find there. As you make your way inside, you see standing on top of the table. She's stripped of all clothes.
Not
Used to
again.
be naked. You see she dances as classical music plays in the background, her arms wrapped around a headless male form as she waltzes across the table strewn with guts, limbs, and other viscera. She smiles widely and you can see blood stains her teeth as her white hair is pushed. You can see blood drenching it, holding it in place.
Is this a corpse dancing with her?
It looks like she's holding the corpse up. You see its feet dragging around, making circles in the blood trails that are on the table. She seems to be dancing with it. It's not dancing with her. She's dragging it around.
Charlie stands in the doorway for a minute, kind of just transfixed by the whole tableau presented here. And she takes a deep breath and lifts up the poker. I think she's gonna try to charge forward and just kind of whack a Sun in the side of, her torso, since she's kind of high up.
So as you charge towards her, I would like you to make me an act under pressure roll as you do this. Let's see. Ooh.
Hesitate, delayed, or complication.
Yeah, so as you're charging towards her, you see her drop the corpse. And it lands with a wet thud on the table. She turns to you. You're taken aback, and she opens her arms toward. You're finally back. Christian, you've brought a friend this time.
I hate you. I hate you.
Don't worry, we will get to know each other again much more intimately. And you see as she turns to you fully, her legs spread. You see coming out from between them 1, 2, 3 sets of tentacles as they come out and wrap around her legs, draping down the sides of the table. And soon, where before her vagina was, you see a large maw that is exposed with gnashing teeth. And she takes a seat on the table, spreading her legs as the tentacles start to move towards the both. Come, let me help you. Let me take you into me, and I will birth you for tomorrow. What do you do?
I think Charlie tries to stab her in the stomach with the poker.
As you see this, I'd like you both to first make me keep it together roll. Ooh, Charlie, you're able to get your swing off, but Christian, seeing this, so you rolled under 9, so you get to choose one of these reactions at the very bottom there.
It seems natural that he would shrink into the fetal position. I love the sun, I love the moon, I love the blue sea, and take those 2 trauma.
Right. You curl into the ball, chanting of the sun. I love the moon. I love the deep blue sea, leaving Charlie on her own to deal with this. And Charlie, you lash out at Sun, trying to stab her in her naked stomach. Why don't you make me a engage in combat roll?
Yeah, not her best.
Not bad.
Not bad for her.
Not bad at all.
She thrusts at Sun and says, "You're not the sun. You're just a parasite."
And let's see, so this would be maybe an edged weapon. So I would say you can, so you can choose kind of what you're trying to do. I'm guessing you're just stabbing at her, basically.
Yeah, probably just in the stomach is going to be the easiest place to reach.
You stab her in the stomach, and she groans loudly as you do. But as you do so, one of the tentacles, it wraps around the weapon that you have and holds it into her, making it so you're unable to push it forward or draw it back.
Okay.
And as this happens, the camera will pan back to the basement where Saxon and Peter are. As you two are there, you start to hear shuffling, sounds of raised voices, conversation. The voice of Charlie, Christian from above, and the voice of an older woman. As you lay on the couch there, Saxon, Peter looks to be wringing his hands as he looks up. What do you do?
What are you fretting about over there?
And he looks back to you there, Saxon. I'm worried about your friends.
Yeah, me too. But I don't think you're really going to be leaving this place, are you?
Well, I was planning to with the 3 of you. It's not so much leaving now if it's just one, especially if you're so injured.
Yeah. I mean, I can't do anything with that blood sacrifice, can I?
What do you mean?
I mean, you said you need a blood sacrifice. Can it be from me, myself, or does it have to be from someone else?
It can be from you, yes.
Yeah, let's try to give it a go then.
All right. And what are you sacrificing?
Oh God, what would I sacrifice?
Actually, before you do that, roll me a see through the illusion check really quick.
Sure.
This is for something completely different.
It's fine. It's fine.
Everything's... Oh my god. So, that new advancement that you picked up, you can choose
Yeah.
up to 3 options at for every for every reception. You can choose you can use all 3 if you want. So you have that there.
Yeah, okay. Oh God, I don't want to do that. That would really I will call on Bask.
All right. So as you, ooh, so you would know from your previous experience with bat, it needs some mode of being able to appear, some sort of material cost.
Oh yeah. Oh shit. Okay.
What would you try and use?
Well, I got an idea for something really bad, but
Up to you.
uh,
What are you gonna do?
um, shit. Yeah. All right. I just start coughing and wheezing. Oh, let's get. Oh, hey, can you give me some water?
Yes, yes, of course. Peter gets up from his seat and hurries over back to the bar to get you some water.
I just keep hanging it up, you know.
Mhm.
Oh,
He comes back with the water rushing, and he brings it over to you, sitting next to you with concern written all over his face, and hands it to you. Here, do you need me to help you?
yeah, please.
He leans forward and puts a hand on the back of your head very gently and helps you drink down the water. Oh. So, why don't you make me, as you're doing that, make me an act under pressure roll
All right.
with a +1. So I think
Okay.
you have a -1, so you're just rolling at base because you have a critical injury.
Okay. Oh, did that not factor? It didn't take it out.
Oh, that's good because you had a +1 and a -1. So describe what you do as your action is successful completely.
So as he's helping me drink water, I just raise my hand and I hold up my left hand and I say, "I'm sorry," and I just ram it right through his neck with the steak knife.
And ran the steak knife through Peter's neck, and he tries to staunch the flow of blood as he chokes out. You can see his eyes bug as he holds his throat. Unfortunately, the blood just pours out of him faster and faster onto the ground. As his
Uh,
eyes... Oh, go ahead.
Bask, you piece of shit. I know you can hear me.
As his eyes roll into the back of his head, very, very similar to Lucy. You hear the bones break. You see the skull split open as his innards start to rise and take on a form of their own, eventually taking the place of Peter. You see Bask standing there, hovering above you. You hear it wheezing as it stands. What do you need, Saxon? Why do you bring me here?
Yeah, well, look, I'm in a bad goddamn spot. you need that music box, and I don't think my buddies are going to be able to make it without some help. So,
You're
there's a little
already
blood
here.
tribute for you.
You're already here. And it leans over you, and you can't tell if it's smiling, but you hear almost a joy come out of its voice. This will hurt, Saxon, but it will help you.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, before you do, there's a bottle of gin over there. I'll take it.
And it
I
reaches... Oh, go ahead.
I can't get up, so you understand, right?
It reaches over with what looks like muscle tendrils, grabbing it and bringing it over to you, putting it in your hands. And as you place the gin in your... You feel something start to press into your chest. Feels like bony fingers pressing in. Eventually you feel them dig hard into the skin. Eventually they pierce it. And on either side of your rib, they slowly, and you can hear them cracking as Bask does. As you're fully awake, he rips open your chest, exposing your ribs and pulling them back. And as it does so, it works in, you can see it reaching into itself, the body that once was Peter Hughes, and it starts to take out the lung that you had once had. Very quickly it works, but you can feel every cut, every ounce of pain as it does this. It takes the lung that previously belonged to Peter, puts it within you, throwing the other one with a wet sound. You can hear it hit the TV and slide to the floor. And eventually you feel it settle in, finding it easier to breathe. You feel it, the creaking of your ribs as they shut. And eventually Bask removes the bony fingers from your chest. The pain, it's dull, but it lingers. And I want you to make me a keep it together roll.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, so... yeah, you've got a few options. I don't know about guilt-ridden, but, haunted maybe for a later time.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I just got a lung trans
Mm-hmm.
fully conscious. So yeah, I think I'll be haunted.
It's fairly quick as he does this. And you can see Bass kind of leans back, standing back to its full height. Once you acquire the music box, leave this place. No. Taps. Kind of the skull that now resides at the top. No, Behind this bar, there is another secret door. Pull that open, you'll be in the same basement you were before. Repeat the ritual. You will be back. Leave the music box where you are, and leave the manor. All will be well.
All right, you got anything for whatever the hell's upstairs?
And it points to the bar. You have much alcohol. You have the capability of fire. There are lighters behind. But
Didn't want to see it go to waste.
if you find any magics about, and it rips off a finger from itself and hands it to you. Consume this, and it will be dispersed.
All right. Don't want to really know what I owe you for this, but hey, thanks, I guess.
We will discuss.
Yeah, I was afraid you were going to say that.
And you see Bask take steps back before melting in just a pile of viscera. As you're able to stand and breathe as normal, your critical wounds now fine. You're able to breathe, able to move. You're suffering no ill effects as of now.
All right. And I will, is his, are his clothes kind of still there, but wet?
His clothes are completely covered in blood, some of it ripped.
Can I ruffle through and see if he has a lighter on him?
You ruffle through and you do find a lighter that was within his pockets.
Okay, I'll go behind the bar. Are there any rags or anything?
Mm-hmm. Able to find rags, able to find the proper alcohols for making Molotov.
Yeah, I'm gonna firebomb the shit out of something.
Awesome. So you
I'll grab
collect.
that.
Mhm.
Go upstairs.
You collect up what you can hold, and make your way back upstairs. Meanwhile, in the dining room, Charlie, you're trying to remove the poker from Sun's stuff. And as you do so, I would like you to make me an avoid harm check. And Christian, I would like you to do the same at a -1. Oh. So, Christian, you're able to come to very quickly as you hear the crash. You kind of roll out of the way of a tentacle that comes at you, extending past Charlie and trying to strike and grab you. Charlie, you're able to avoid the one that goes for your neck, but unfortunately, one does wrap around your arm and starts pulling it closer and closer between the legs of Sun.
Are there any knives left on the table?
There are some scattered around. You can try and reach for one as you're attempting to pull away as it draws you in.
Yeah, if it looks like the poker's really stuck, she'll try to grab one.
Able to reach out and grab a knife, and Christian, you're snapped out of the chant, the mantra that you are in, seeing Sun like this. What do you do as you see Charlie being trapped by Sun, being drawn into her?
I want to use my body awareness to jump up on the table and attack.
Why, actually, let's see. I think I might have a thing for that. Alright, if you click your token, you actually have, it says ADV, body awareness. Click that. Alright. So you can choose one of the options, but you expose yourself to danger.
Makes total sense. I'm jumping up next to her so I can stab her in the neck. So, any number of tentacles.
So you jump up and are able to run up onto the table, and you're able to get inches away from Sun. Your knife was almost plunged into her neck before a tentacle wrapped its hand around your wrist, squeezing it hard enough to have the knife clatter onto the chest of Sun. She grabs it with her own hand, her right one. She looks up to you and tuts a few times. No, Christian, you're being a very bad boy. We're going to have to teach you a lesson, aren't we? And Charlie, you're able to get a knife in your hand. You see Christian standing up there, hovering over Sun. Unfortunately, he's been disarmed. What do you do?
She feels another surge of adrenaline go through her, kind of fear at what's happening to her friend, and she lets herself, well, she steels herself for it and then lets herself be pulled in a little bit by the tentacle, maybe acting like she's struggling more than she is. Her aim is to shove this right up that maw.
Why do you want to do that, or do you want to use inner power?
Okay, I didn't know if that was something I could consciously do or not.
I would say, no, but yes. But I'd say in this case, yes. If you can let yourself go, let yourself relax for just a moment if you want, or you can stab it in the maw. It's up to, but getting your
Okay, I think that if she's got that option, maybe not consciously, but her just fear at the situation, she feels something kind of unlock inside her chest, and she looks at Sun, and she just kind of points the knife at her and says, I can't let this happen. And something is unleashed, and we shall see
what it is.
exactly what happens.
Yeah, roll me Seeds of the Illusion just for soul. So it does 2 harm to the closest opponent. So you kind of unleash this wave of energy that, as you kind of extend your hand, letting yourself be drawn in. And again, Sun screams and screeches very loud as this happens. And she does so. She actively starts to retreat on all fours, backing up. And as she does, one of the tentacles reaches out to one of the spare limbs, leg that's sitting on the table, brings it towards the maw between her legs, and it starts to consume it. And you can see the wounds on her start to heal. It is at this point, Saxon, you hear all this going on. You're able to follow the sounds and are able to enter the fray. You see before you, on her back, crawling backwards on all fours, Sun. You see standing on the table. You see Christian and Charlie. Charlie, you're kind of being dragged along a little bit as she backs up as one of the tentacles won't let your arm go. What do you do as you see this, Saxon?
Charlie, get out of the way, and I throw the Molotov at Sun.
All right, why don't you make me, as you see this, we'll do engage in combat.
Nope.
Oh no. Uh-oh. As you throw it, the flames splash onto the table. The alcohol, some of it jumping onto Sun, getting into her hair, but a lot of it splashes onto the pants that Christian wears and onto the side of Charlie's face. And both of you feel the flames as they stick and lick at your skin and clothes.
I think instinctively Charlie would scream and, grab her shawl and press it against her face, ignoring Sun while she tries to get rid of this horrible pain.
What about Christian? What do you do?
He wraps his legs around her waist and squeezes as tightly as he can.
Why don't you make me an act under pressure roll as you go after Sun again? You run over, trying to jump on top of Sun, wrapping your legs around her, try and burn her further. And ooh, as you do, again, you can see she's weakening. She's more hurt than you've ever seen her. She's bleeding as the flames lick her own skin. And as you do that, you feel a tentacle come up and wrap itself around your neck and start pulling your head backwards and towards between her legs.
No. No, not that.
And she laughs a bit and you can hear the pain in her voice. Let me take you into me, Christian, as I've always wanted. Come back to me. Let us be one.
No. No.
Why don't you make me an avoid harm as she pulls you in, Christian? You're able to keep yourself... Oh, let's see. You're able to keep yourself on the edge, but you hear kind of the gnashing of teeth as it's inches away from the back of your head. You feel it pulling at your hair, almost trying to draw that. Charlie, as you... Actually, we'll go to Saxon. As you burn Charlie, Christian being choked and drawn in by Sun, what do you do?
I will rush up to Christian and start pulling him out.
Christian, I want you to make me another avoid harm, and Saxon, I want you to make me a help or hinder roll, which you roll avoid harm as well.
No.
Just to see if you help at all. Oh, so it adds +2 or -2 to the roll. Fortunately, he helps, but not enough to fully get you out. You're still stuck, Christian. You still feel it chewing away, and you feel some of the teeth actually starting to graze the back of your skull. Charlie, what do you do? Charlie? I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm
it's
sorry.
okay.
Okay. there's the smell of burnt hair, and she has tears streaming down her cheeks. She had cried out so loudly when her face started to burn that she didn't hear everything, but she hears Son say this to Christian, and she looks up and sees her trying to pull him in, and she grimaces and fights back against the pain, and she just drops the knife and holds her hand out to Son again. You can't have him. And she reaches as deep inside of herself as she can, trying to get hold of that hard to describe sensation that she had just felt. Tries to find the source of that power and bring it to the surface again.
All right, roll me see through the illusion.
Oh no,
Oh.
that's so bad.
Oh no.
Oh,
I think that's everybody in the room
Everybody.
takes harm.
Even yourself.
Yep.
So let's see. I'd like both Christian and Saxon, both of you make me avoid harm to see if you can somehow avoid this. But
It's like this blast coming from a central point.
oh, let's see.
oh,
Oh no. Okay, so pretty much Charlie, I just gotta see your sheet for a hot second. Wounds. So, to take 2. I think that sorry, one sec. My thing is like, how many wounds equals 1? I think you have so many wounds for serious.
Yeah, there's 4.
So you take 2 there, Charlie. As you're kind of blown back, you actually disengage from Sun. The tentacle goes limp as you're blown back away from her like an explosion happened. And Christian, you're also blown away from Sun. You feel yourself tumble off the table. And as you do so, you feel your shoulder crack as it gets painfully dislocated. Saxon, on the other hand, so, oh, I guess it would be endure injury, but it would really be endure injury. Oh well. I'm gonna give you unfortunately the worst part, because you,
yeah, I mean, it'd be lower, so.
yeah. So, ooh. As Sun screams out, as Charlie, you're blown back. Christian, you're blown off the table. Saxon, you're blown forwards into Sun. And you feel where your stomach is starting to be devoured by this thing. The creature between her legs is still very alive, very active. She's just barely clinging to life at this point. What do you guys do?
That was a critical injury for me.
Oh, definitely. It's 2. You're basically being consumed right now, Saxon.
I'm in a tight spot. I'd like to, to jump
You
here.
are. Go ahead.
Use Ace up the sleeve.
All right.
Roll coolness.
Roll me that coolness. 14. So you get 1 edge, and I'm guessing you're going to spend it now.
Yeah.
What do you do? What do you
Uh,
spend?
opponent has a weakness I can exploit. Or no, I'll spot a way out. That's what it'll be.
Your way out is
Don't say
to...
through.
Hmm?
Don't say through.
Yeah, go through it. You think that if she sustained, maybe if someone... There's still that poker that's jammed into her stomach. Maybe if someone rips that upwards and rips out the guts from her, you think that'll be it for her. Otherwise, cutting through these tentacles, but you can feel your innards start to like be pulled out, be pulled through your stomach as this thing is just chewing away at you.
Can I do that thing with the poker then?
Go ahead. Make me, as you jump back on the table, make me a act under pressure roll there, Christian. You do have a -1. That would be 10, so it's the same. Let's see. All right. So you do so, but you hesitate. You must deal with the complication. As you get up to her and you're able to put the poker inside and rip it upwards as she screams in her death throes. You feel a blade enter between your spine, as is the same blade that you had cut her with stabs you in the back. And this has happened. Saxon, you feel the mouth dissipate. It seems to draw up back inside her, as well as the tentacles do, as Sun seems to relax and fade onto the table. Her arms splayed out as the tentacles go back inside her.
Okay. That ain't good.
Charlie kind of stands up from where she got knocked down, kind of feels her abdomen. She almost feels like drawing on that power kind of tore something inside. She's dead. Oh my gosh. Let's get her down to Peter so that... Wait. She looks over at Saxon a little confused. I mean, he looks hurt, but he's breathing okay. How? You look better.
Well, except for... And I gestured of my stomach. Except for that. Now...
Maybe Peter can help. Let's...
No, he can't. Let's get that music box and get the hell out of here.
What do you mean? We need Peter to get the music box.
No. We can get up there. I can get it.
She looks at Saxon, kind of stands up and walks over, looks him in the eye. Is there something wrong with Peter?
Yeah, he's no more. He's gone.
She closes her eyes for a minute and tries not to let despair wash over her. All right, I guess we have to do it the hard way. She looks around for anything to staunch Saxon's wounds. Napkins from the table or something. I wish I had the kind of powers that could help you.
Thanks. It's all right. It'll be fine.
She nods kind of grimly, not at all sure that it is.
Hey,
And then
for the price for boning you two, I guess this is what, I gotta pay. I'm sorry, my aim was off.
her hand kind of goes up and touches her cheek where it's very tender. Well, don't tell me how it looks. And she looks at the burnt braids. Looks almost as upset about that. It took me a long time to grow this out.
Hey, it makes for a good story. Christian, how you doing?
I, there's a knife in my back.
Oh my gosh. I didn't see her get you. And Charlie will run over there, thinking to herself, I don't know if it's going to hurt him more to pull it out, but what choice do I have? She says, okay. On 3, okay? And she grabs the knife. 1, 2, and on 2 she yanks it out.
That's rough.
That went in my spine. Am I paralyzed?
Well, why don't you make me an endure injury check? We'll see how it is. You're in a lot of pain, but there's not going to be, as far as you think, any permanent effect.
Can I see that knife? Oh!
And she hands it back.
Christian kind of staggers over to Sun, and you'll see there's a chain around her neck. There's a sun on it. Takes that, puts it on himself. And then he just commences to stabbing. Just kind of in a frenzy, just stabbing and stabbing and stabbing.
Charlie kind of looks over at Saxon for a minute and then back at Christian, lets him have a few minutes before she kind of walks up, a little hesitant to even touch him while he's in this frenzy, but eventually does kind of touch him on the shoulder. Chris, she's dead, but the people here, they said that they come back every morning. I think we should throw her body out the door.
Okay. There's no doll of her, though, but let's just get rid of her.
Just in case. I don't really know how things work around here.
You did real good, Christian. That took a lot of bravery to do that.
It did.
Charlie, you stood up for me, and you too, Saxon. Nobody's ever stood up to Sun for me before. You guys are great. Oh, man, my back hurts.
Yeah,
I'll trade you.
I know.
Watch out, they probably can trade us.
Shit, yeah, I better not talk about that.
Charlie probably being the most able to haul anything at this point, kind of just grabs Sun by her ankles and starts to drag her toward the front door.
You drag Sun towards the front door, going back to the floor to drop her body off. And as you open the door, you see outside clouds have formed together. Sky seems to be twisting. It's covered in red and black. You see what looks to be a large hurricane just half a kilometer, maybe even closer to your location. You can feel the wind buffeting you. You can feel debris smacking this. You can see debris smacking the sides of the manor. You can see it still inching closer and closer towards the house itself as you toss Sun's body outside.
Yeah, she does it almost carelessly, thoughtlessly, as she looks up at the sky, brows furrowed, worried, not knowing what will happen when the storm arrives. And then she just closes the door, turns around, and walks back to find the others.
Head back into the dining room with the others. It all seems to be fairly quiet in the house. What do all of you do now?
Uh,
The storm's almost here.
as I see it, we've got two options. We can either bring the broken doll back to the child, or I can try to entice the entity away, and you two can run in and grab the music box while I entice it away with some artwork.
Yeah. I've done this before, but it was in the normal world, and I don't know what we're dealing with here, but I could try an exorcism.
That'll work down here.
I have no idea. Maybe it would do nothing. Maybe it would do what it's supposed to, or maybe it would just hurt it or buy us some time. I don't know. What do you think?
I wonder if we shouldn't try the least attack on it first, because if we do something that attacks it, we may not have the option of doing something like trying to distract it or get the entity's attention and bring it to another place.
We could tell it that we know where Peter is, but that he's dead. But we could show it where the body is, lure it out. I don't know. I mean, Saxon, Peter's dead, right?
Yeah. Yes.
But the entity fixes the dolls, so I'm wondering if the broken doll couldn't be fixed.
It didn't have a doll for Peter, but I think that's
It didn't
because
have a body.
he was safe. Yeah. So maybe if we bring the body out, then it would be able to reassemble him.
If Peter was down in the safe place, his doll wouldn't appear, right?
That's the theory.
Okay.
All right. So I guess that's step one. Let's go get his body and drag it out of the basement.
Okay.
So as you head down to the basement, let me grab you too. So Saxon, it would be more of an instantaneous effect. Like if there was anything in the room, it would immediately banish it. Oh. You're not sure. But do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. So As the two of you are moving to the basement, Charlie and Christian, you head down the steps. You turn around and you notice that Saxon isn't there anymore.
Charlie turns around and looks up the stairs. Hey, Saxon, are you coming?
He's going to the child's room alone, and Christian starts as quickly as his injuries will allow, heading that direction.
Oh, crap. She looks around. Does she see any... Does she see, like, the mess, that just bloody mess of Peter's remains?
Yeah, you see... Ooh. You see just the absolute travesty that is Peter's body. Yeah. So, as you head upstairs, Christian, as you're trying to maneuver, you hear the door shut from inside the office. As you hear feet pitter-patter away. So you get to the door, you find that it's blocked and barred. You push against it, you're unable to open it.
What's the other way out of here? Is it up?
The other way's
through
up.
the trap door.
Is there any easy way to do that?
You'll need help from Charlie. And only one of you might be able to get up, while the other would have to lean back down into the hole to assist. It would take time.
Can I use my body awareness to help with that?
Sure. As you get to the office, and Charlie, do you come up the stairs as well after seeing Peter's mangled body?
I think Charlie would kind of curse under her breath as Christian runs out too. She'll reach down. She doesn't know how much of his body would be needed. She'll just like grab a finger or something and stuff it in her bag. And as they go, she's taking a hard look at those runes, that she saw that were marked. She recognized them as protective. And, I mean, how long would it take to replicate one of them?
You think it would take about maybe 10 minutes if you're just replicating from memory?
No, just like she's sitting there looking at it.
Oh, you can do it in
So-
like 2. Just drawing it out.
Yeah, I think that she would say, Christian, wait, we can't rush off. And she would dip her finger in Peter's blood and try to draw that protective rune, like, on her own arm with it or something.
Okay. Christian, are you speeding off without heeding Charlie, or are you following what she said?
Christian really wants to go help Saxon, but Charlie stood by him with Son, so he will wait. But he's ready to go.
Is your auntie ready to go, and Charlie's painting on protections on her arm? Saxon, what are you doing right now? Where are you going?
I'm putting the finger in my mouth, and I'm not biting down on it, but I'm going up to the kid's room.
You place the finger in your mouth and head up back to Brooke's room. You peek inside and she's sitting there. She seems to have another sort of dollhouse. This one a lot darker, blacker than the other one. You can see she's slowly putting all the pieces and bits of the dolls that she has into that particular dollhouse. And she's gathering them all up as she looks back to you and...
You're back? Did you
Did you bring my dolly?
Do I see dolls of Charlie and Christian?
Yes. And you see one of yourself.
Okay. Yeah, little girl, I'm sorry. That doll, that was just broken all to bits.
Oh, oh no. Well, so take the pieces. I can fix them.
Yeah, I've got my friends on that. And then I just start making my way over the music box. But man, I'm sorry, we really need this right now.
She frowns and stands up.
That wasn't the deal.
Yeah, sometimes deals change, and I crunch down on the finger. I'm sorry, but sometimes they do, and I grab the box and run.
What are you intending to do with the finger, with the dispersal of magic? What do you intend to disperse? Because there's quite a bit.
Oh yeah, I wasn't thinking of it that way. Can I disperse like the hold over the puppets? Or even just my puppet so I can get the hell out?
Oh. Oh. Sure. You can disable the dispersal for your puppet. So as you grab the music box, you hear the child just start to shriek. And as that happens, you feel the house shake and tremble. And Charlie, at this point, you finish painting on your arm. The two of you are about to head back up, and you feel the house tremble. You hear the shriek, and you have to cover your ears from the sound. Saxon, it doesn't disturb you as much. You're able to hurry away and hurry down the stairs with the music box. You find that you're not pursued. What do you do, and where do you go with the music box?
I Can I get back in through the door down to the basement?
You can unbar it, yes.
Yeah, I'll do that and try to get back in.
So as you unbar the door, Christian and Charlie, you're in the office right now, looking up, and you feel the house shake. You hear the scream. You feel it piercing your ears, and kind of have to hold yourselves as you feel it shake, and it continues to shake. The different eclectic things on the wall starting to fall down, the lamp trembling as the house shakes. It feels like it's starting to fall apart. Saxon seems to disbar the seals to the room. He comes in and he seems to be clutching the music box in his hand.
We gotta move. We gotta get back down to the basement now.
Okay. Come on, Charlie. Let's go back down.
Yeah, Charlie gives a sigh of relief as Saxon appears, but then nods, and she kind of grabs Christian by the arm. I don't know how this rune will work if it does. Stay close. We should be okay once we're in the basement, right? And then, I guess they're just running. How did you... She could have just torn you apart,
Yeah,
Saxon.
some deals were made, and I'm a negotiator of sorts. So we can talk about that later. Let's get down there right away.
As you're running, Charlie, I'd like you to make me a see through the illusion check very quick. Good,
Wow.
good. So what arm did you paint the symbol on?
I'm assuming that because she's right-handed, she would have painted on her left arm, but she holds Christian with the same arm. Like, deliberately. She doesn't know if that will even work, but she's trying to create, like, a contact.
So you have the contact, and as you're running down the step, you feel yourself slip as you place your left foot down onto the ground. As you do so, you feel excruciating pain where your left leg was. You look down and see nothing there as you tumble down the stairs, but since you're holding on to Christian, if you want, you can keep her up.
Yes.
Charlie, you find that your left leg is completely gone.
I'm gonna hurry up getting down those steps.
Yeah, she probably is a little stunned with the horror of it, but it's not altogether unexpected either. I think she does whatever she can to almost leap down the stairs,
Oh,
leaning on Christian.
you struggle to get to the basement, jumping your way down with the assistance of Christian and of Sax, making your way down. You find yourself back in the basement, the bloody mess that is Peter Hughes. What do you all do?
I run to where Bask kind of gestured towards the door.
As you do so, you feel a pull, Saxon, on your neck. It's only for a moment before the grip loosens.
Charlie looks around the room. Hopefully these runes will help some. And she just kind of continues to hop over, I'm assuming with the aid of Christian, as Saxon runs over to try to find the secret door.
And Saxon, you hurry over to where Bask pointed, where the hidden door is. Though they never really explained how to get in, I don't think. Why don't you make me an observe a situation roll? Actually, investigate. Let me investigate.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm guessing the question is, how do I get in here?
Yeah, how do I do this thing?
Oh, my dice froze. Hey. So you find basically if you throw a few bottles and move a few cups to different locations, you're able to kind of see where the spot of dust isn't. Able to place the cups in the right place. And Christian, as you're standing there waiting for Saxon to figure out what's going on, you feel a pull on your right leg.
Okay.
And again, you feel that extreme pain that you felt in your hand as suddenly your right leg is lying on the floor. You feel blood coming out of the stump that was once there.
I think I'll sit down if I don't fall down.
Both you and Charlie are leaning on each other, just trying to stay standing. You're able to lean on the bar. Saxon, the doors seem, or the wall seems to jut back and slide out. As you see a very dark pathway leading forwards, you think into the other end of the basement that was talked about by Bask.
I look back. Oh, Jesus Christ. And I go and grab the two of them. Come on, we gotta go.
Yeah, Charlie kind of firms her grip across Christian's shoulders so that they can kind of try to...
Do a three-legged race.
Mm.
Yeah, exactly.
And you hop your way, getting back into a very familiar basement area. Find yourself back in the basement that you were in before, where you first saw Bask, where you saw Lucy completely eviscerated, where you did the ritual. You see the circle still emblazoned into the floor. Saxon, you clutch the music box.
Do you remember the ritual?
I think Charlie probably does. I think getting blood isn't going to be a problem. So, yeah, Charlie will kind of hop forward and then I think kind of sit down on the ground trying to get the blood into the circle.
As you're trying to get your own blood into the circle, again, you feel a pulling sensation on your right arm this time. You feel it, it's not as fast as the other leg. It's slow this time. So you feel the muscles and the tendons start to loosen and separate as slowly your right arm is pulled off. The sock now lays at the side of the circle.
She at first grimaces against the pain, but eventually is just screaming as her arm is pulled off. And she's crying without even knowing it, while she's still trying to smear blood all over this circle.
Mm.
We need to do it. I have one hand left. And she reaches out and grabs whoever's closest. Hold hands.
Okay.
You all hold hands. I'm guessing placing the music box. Do you keep a hold of it, Saxon, or do you place it in the circle?
I place it in the circle.
Place in the center of the circle. And Charlie, I'd like you to roll me again a see through the illusion. This is for dabbler in the occult to see how well it goes with a -1.
We help at all?
You can help
my
or
gosh.
hinder.
I totally botch
Use
it.
the soul roll. The see through the illusion. Christian, you have a -1 as well through the pain.
Shit.
Oh, that's a hinder.
This isn't gonna work.
And that's without the -1 on it yet.
Oh.
Yeah, we flubbed this.
You say the same words. It's almost as if you're kind of yelling through it, Charlie. Everyone closing their eyes, joining hands. And as you feel yourself being transported, and Saxon, you know you have to consume one of your digits in order to do that.
I do. I grab my right ring finger and
Rip
bite
it
through
off. Yeah, you rip off your ring finger. Try and summon Bask as you do this. trying to channel them. As you all close your eyes, you feel yourself being pulled through somewhere. And as this happens, until you open your eyes, it's cold. You hear the music box chiming and playing as it is opened, as you're transported. You all open your eyes. You find yourself in what looks to be some sort of medieval, torturous room. As you look around in confusion, Saxon, you feel hands on your shoulders. Christian, you feel hands on yours as well. And before you, standing within the circle, now holding the music box, you see Bask, looking towards it, moving it around, looking inside, and looking to the three. You've done well, I see.
Charlie looks up at Bask, trying to think through the haze of pain. You promised that we'd walk safely, that we'd be able to leave the house and return to our lives. She looks around the room.
Oh, I did. I did promise that, and I do thank you very much for all this. But before I let you... He looks down to you, Charlie and Christian. Hop free. I would extend my services to fix you.
Charlie kind of narrows her eyes, looking at Bask, waiting for the other shoe to drop.
And Bask seems to turn itself, looking at you, Sack. You, though. I see much in you. There's some molding that needs to be done. Some tweaks. As payment from before, I ask you to... Well, it's not an ask. You will stay here until I deem fit and you are adequate to leave.
Yeah, that's fair.
Charlie kind of looks at Saxon with shock, looking around the room. You can't agree to that, Saxon. Who knows how long you're going to be here?
I ain't got a choice, Charlie. I'm sorry. We had to get out. That old guy wasn't going to come out easy. And I heard the screams down below. I had to help you. So...
Her eyes start to kind of well up. Tears of frustration. Why did this happen to us? This isn't fair.
It's because you're awake, Charlie. Because you can now see what many others can't. You can choose to go back the way you were, but that would require dying. So you can be brought back infinitely, as you always have been.
What do you mean?
This isn't your first form, Charlie. You've been known by many names. Clarence, Hugo, many, many others before that. Each of you were. This is not your first time, nor is it your first time meeting me.
So to get out of here, we have to die? Be someone else?
If you wish, but you will not remember this. Your ascension will never be complete if you continue to destroy yourselves.
She looks over at Christian and Saxon. I don't have very many people that I trust at all. I don't think I can give that up. As horrible as it's been, I don't want to forget.
Again, Bask looks to all of you. I'll make you all a deal. Like I said, I'd prepare you before you left. Else you'll be like this when you leave. And he gestures to missing limbs. You can choose to take this and then leave Saxon behind, or you can all choose to suffer together for a shorter period of time. When you come back, nothing will have changed. No time will have passed. You will have missed nothing. But for you, everything will be different.
It's not fair for Saxon to have to bear all the weight alone.
I can't let y'all do that, especially figuring out what happened to Christian through the hell and back.
I think she's right, Saxon. We'll stay. Just promise me my parts won't matter.
Your parts will be perfect, Christian. We will regrow them. You will be whole again. And as you confirm wanting to stay, each of you is lifted either by Bask or one of the other two mechanical, fleshy creatures stand with them. Each of your remaining limbs, if you have, are impaled with hooks, stretched and brought apart. So you hover, splayed out. Eventually your skin being flayed off slowly, methodically. Each of your organs being rearranged, put into each other. Many other torturous activities that Bask seems to revel in. 3 of you are there for you do not know how long. Suffering together, screaming in agony, hearing each other and indulging in those slight comforts of suffering. 3 of you do. But eventually, as another, you don't even know how many days have gone by, but as one fades into the other, and as of course, you all eventually pass out from the pain. As you open your eyes, you expect to be in the same place before. The same spikes impaled into your lower jaw, your teeth being torn out, nails being shoved up into many orifices. You all awaken until a very familiar place. Back in odds and endings, as you're all sitting on one of the very small couches, all huddled together, each of you having each of your limbs, all your teeth, all your nails, each of your eyeballs, and each of you awaken, seeing each other. Memory of the pain that you were enduring together still emblazoned in your memory. But you feel fine. You are back. What do you all do?
I think it probably takes some time before Charlie's willing to believe that this is real and not her mind escaping as it had so many times during their torture. She stands there looking around the room. Eventually gets the courage to reach out and touch the table, feel its solidity. She touches her own face, and then her shoulders and all over her body, looking down at her hands, seeing that everything is whole. She reaches a hand into her mouth and feels all her teeth. And then I think she looks over at the others and she sits down hard in a chair, possibly missing, and then wraps her arms around her knees and starts to cry.
What about Christian?
This place needs a good sweep. Goes to find his broom. He starts sweeping. Far better than he ever swept in the past.
And Saxon?
I sit, breathe deeply for a while. I look to Christian sweep and I look over to Charlie and say, yeah, y'all probably need to know my name's actually Michael Burrow.
Mike, that wasn't Jersey we were in, was it?
Yeah, no, it fucking wasn't. You can keep calling me Saxon, it's fine.
Are you hiding from something?
Charlie,
Yeah, hiding from my family.
Charlie looks up, just kind of watching them for a minute. I don't think you need to hide from anybody anymore.
Yeah, probably not. Hey, you all hungry?
Food. I remember food. She reaches down to a drawer in the desk and opens it, pulls out a couple, half-eaten bags of, Funyuns and Cheetos and snack foods she always has in there, unclips a bag, kind of opens it and inhales the aroma of powdered cheese. Oh my God. And she just reaches a hand in and crams some into her mouth, points to it. It's really good.
As you all start to snack on the different bags of chips and such around the office, you see placed on a table very neatly a calling card of sort the name Bask written on it, and to call at any time. And as you look down at that, you hear the door ding, that rough ding that you had long almost forgotten of odds and endings. You all turn your head to see who enters the building, and as that happens, the scene fades to black, and that is the end of Burning Passion.
Nice.
Yay!
Oh
I hope
my
you guys had fun.
We had fun. I don't think our characters had fun.
Yeah, it's